Welcome back, viewers from all around the world. Now we are back to the Pokemon Trainer Circuit 2018 with me, Hashigansha, and Benjamin Tan for this third Swiss round on best of 3 games in this Pokemon Trainer Circuit Grand Final powered by Tokopedia. Oh my gosh!
Excuse me.
Right. In any case, we will be having a battle against Oktavian Jason and also Adryan Sutantoso. So without further ado, let's get on to the battle. Because Adryan Sutantoso, throughout the circuit, he won 3. He went to the finals 3 out of 4 tournaments, and he actually managed to win 2 of them. So I would say that his team, or he himself has a great capability, or is a favorite in winning this tournament.
Yeah, he even attended the Malaysia Open that I won, and unfortunately he bubbled out of top card. Otherwise, he will be, doing really well in even out of Indonesia. He certainly proved himself to be the best player in Indonesia right now. But after the previous game, we have seen Matthew, the good play. So I'm really interested to watch Adryan up against Matthew in the top card. But forget about that. Right now it's Jason against Adryan.
And Jason is actually also a very famous player during the Auras, the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the Fiji 2015 and 2014. Last time we have the Pokemon Asia Cup, he actually managed to reach the top 8 before he lost to a Japanese. So without further ado, let's give it a round of applause to Jason and also Adryan Sutantoso for this third Swiss round in this best of 3 game 1.
Yeah, Adryan, his team using his trusty Melexon, Jason still using the Japan National Championship team, trusting the team will be doing well yesterday. Still gonna use the Nidoqueen team today. So both sides gonna lead Cresselia and 2 Intimidators.
So more or less the same, but I think here that Salamence has a better matchup against these 2 Pokemon because first of all, Incineroar cannot deal a lot of damage to Salamence, but Incineroar have a fake out pressure right now.
Yeah, Jason can just go for a fake out IC win here, but of course Adryan's not gonna let that happen. It's gonna Trick Room and switch in Tapu Fini, very safe switch, up against
Cresselia and also Incineroar combo.
To soak up the ice move from Cresselia. Cresselia is going to go for ice win, but we do not see a fake out coming from Incineroar. The Jason knock off onto Cresselia instead.
That's a huge if that's going to be a knockout. And there's the icy win. The knockoff is actually coming onto the Cresselia, going to knock off that item, which is the Algorithm and the Pitchberry, but Cresselia decides to go for a Trick Room.
Oh, thanks to the Intimidate, knockoff is not going to do a lot to Cresselia, and Adryan is in a good position right now, managed to get out Trick Room, and especially Tapu Fini and both Cresselia and Tapu Fini at -1 speed is gonna do very well against the Incineroar.
Yes, and I think this will be a very interesting game right now because the Tapu Fini can do a lot of damage with the Money Water or even a Calm Mind if he decides to. It's a very safe turn for him for the Tapu Fini just to go for a Calm Mind.
Yeah, Jason not gonna let Incineroar win so easily against Adryan's Tapu Fini. He decided to switch in his own Tapu Fini.
And a live switch. I'm not sure of what a Pokemon of what move that he wants to change, but the Money Water and the Cresselia avoids the attack. But decides to go for Tapu Fini, and we'll see if there's an accuracy drop or not onto the Tapu Fini. There's no accuracy drop. The Psychic is going to connect onto the Cresselia, deals some shield damage, so the allies is actually doing something.
Yeah, it is doing something, but right now Jason has some good information. He knows that Adryan's Cresselia is packing the ally switch, so it's gonna be a mind game for both players. Do you ally switch or not?
Ally switch always comes into a mind game, but there's no more ally switch. The Psychic comes into the Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini also decides to use the Moon Blast from Adryan, doing a lot of damage. Tapu Fini retaliate with another Moon Blast onto the opponent's Adryan's Tapu Fini, doing less damage. Psychic onto the Tapu Fini as well. So basically they do a same turn.
The same turn, like both Cresselia and Tapu Fini using the exact same move. But this turn, the Tapu Fini, both sides of Tapu Fini will likely feint to another Moon Blast here, but I'm not sure about Jason's Tapu Fini. I mean, He might be carrying the pinch berry, so Psychic might proc the berry from this range. So, but Jason's gonna go for a protect. Do we see an ally switch from Adryan? No, just Psychic onto the Cresselia.
Cresselia, oh, very nice. And also a special defense drop.
Huge.
And the Moonblast is going to connect as well onto the special defense drop. A Cresselia doing tons of damage, but the Psychic is going to go through onto the Tapu
It's
Fini.
gonna proc the berry.
Proc the berry,
Yes.
and it will be proc the berry and gaining its health by 50%.
So a really good turn for Adryan here. Not only did the Psychic drop the special defense, but Jason's Cresselia also dropped his Tapu Fini's, proc his Tapu Fini's berry. So Adryan in a really good spot right now. He can, if he has Helping Hand, he can just go for Helping Hand Moonblast onto Jason's Tapu Fini, and it should pick up the KO from that range.
Yeah, sure enough. Especially it's already the Cresselia is also -1, so Jason has a slightly underhand position right now against Adryan.
Yes, but of course, Adryan have his Tapu Fini is slightly more healthier than Jason's Tapu Fini, but he decides to. Jason also carrying an ally switch, so is both of them gonna use ally switch? No.
The Psychic is going to connect onto the Cresselia, but with -1, it's going to do some damage, blocking the Citrus Berry, gaining its health by 25%. And also Tapu Fini is going to launch the Moonblast onto the Cresselia as well, doing a lot more damage, and a special attack drop. The Tapu Fini uses Moonblast. Okay, Jason's Tapu Fini uses Moonblast onto the Adryan's Tapu Fini, and the Twisted Dimension returns to normal.
It's not gonna be enough thanks to the pinch berry from Adryan's Tapu Fini, and as we have seen, Jason Cresselia unfortunately dropping the special attack and also the special defense. Likely it's gonna faint to another Moonblast from Adryan's Tapu Fini.
But I think that Incineroar coming in will be not Incineroar. I mean, it's an Icy Wind actually is going out onto both of these two balls, reducing the speed by 1 stage. And Tapu Fini is -1 and Cresselia is -2. And the Tapu Fini right now, there is the Z move from Oktavian Jason. From Oktavian Jason going to
Likely into the Cresselia slot. So
Hydro.
It should KO the Tapu Fini because of the ally switch. So it's not very good for Adryan right here. So can this Hydro Vortex pick up the KO on Tapu Fini? It should, and it will. So unfortunate for Adryan, ally switch isn't really helping him right there.
But once again, Adryan has burned Octavius Jason's Z move, so that's something. That's actually pretty something, because Z move is a one shot. You need to use it in a very critical position and very right positioning.
Yeah, right now Salamence is in a good spot against both the cheap Tapu Fini and Cresselia. Double H will likely KO both one of them. But do you go for the Cresselia slot or do you go for Tapu Fini slot?
Or even a Hyper Voice can keep picking up a KO.
Hyper Voice won't actually will not pick up a KO on Tapu Fini, because Tapu Fini usually have really high special defense, and as we know, the Hyper Voice have been nerfed this season.
And Hyper Voice actually coming out onto both of these two Pokemon. Does picks up the KO onto the Cresselia because of the -1 stage, but does not picks up the KO onto the Tapu Fini. Tapu Fini uses Moonblast, and we'll see if it's going to the Cresselia, not picking up the KO.
Cresselia hanging on clutch there, taking the Moonblast from Tapu Fini.
Incineroar is going out right now with the Fake Out Pressure, and also Intimidate onto the opponent's Salamence, which is very, very important, especially if it's a physical one.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Adryan actually wanted the Cresselia to stay here longer, because maybe he can get a free switch into something in the back, like probably the Tyranitar or Melexone, which will be good against Tapu Fini as well.
And his last choice is the Nidoqueen. And opposing Salamence uses Protect. No Fake Out. We'll see if there's a Fake Out. There's a Fake Out onto the protected Salamence. And we'll see the Cresselia is using Psychic onto the Nidoqueen, doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Jason don't want to go for a Fake Out onto Cresselia right there, because after Tapu Fini fainted, Cresselia is actually the only Pokemon that can do some damage onto Jason's Nidoqueen. So having Cresselia gone, Jason Nidoqueen will have a better time against the Mega Salamence, and whatever in the back, the Menaczone, the Excadrill, the Tyranitar will not actually enjoy facing the Nidoqueen. Unless maybe Excadrill with the Tectonic Rage and Earthquake, but Earthquake will not be enough.
And Salamence uses Tailwind, so we see a double Tailwind and also Trick Room, depending on the position, and a U-turn onto the Salamence, so he will switch in with Tapu Fini in the back.
Yeah, Ally switch helping Arjun right there, to keep Cresselia for one more turn to pick up the KO on the Nidoqueen. So Salamence can just go for a safe Hyper Voice and Psychic onto the Nidoqueen. Will pick up the KO there, but Nidoqueen can switch out into Incineroar. But do you want to take the free damage, from Salamence there?
But I think it will be a very uphill battle for Jason because, as you can see, the most of the health is in red health and also a lot of chip damage. Incineroar is coming in, probably predicting another Psychic from the Cresselia. We'll see if there's another Psychic coming onto the Incineroar or not. With the Intimidate going to reduce the Salamence attack by one more stage, but it doesn't really matter because the Hyper Voice is going to connect to these two Pokemon. A lot of a good damage onto the Incineroar, but the Psychic does not connect onto the Incineroar because of the Dark type.
Yeah, and no protect from Tapu Fini right there. It's gonna faint from the Hyper Voice. But right now, does Adryan want to keep his Cresselia any longer for the Nidoqueen? Or he can just safely switch into, if he have Excadrill, that would be great. He can just sack Cresselia right here because Excadrill will be enough against Nidoqueen and Incineroar.
Salamence is actually protecting here, doesn't want to get damage, and the Ice Beam is not connecting into the Salamence. Psychic is going to connect onto the Nidoqueen and picking up the KO. And so right now, Incineroar is using Knock Off once more onto the Cresselia and picks up the KO.
Yeah, allowing Adryan to have a free switch in, but it's also good for Jason because Jason can get more information for game 2, but looks like Adryan actually brought the Menaczone instead. So if Cresselia and Tapu Fini had fainted without Nidoqueen taking any damage, Jason's Nidoqueen would be great against the Salamence and the Menaczone.
And here is the Hyper Voice, one single target. Oh, there is a huge amount of damage, and proccing is very good information for Adryan to know to bring in the next game. Magnezone uses Thunderbolt, a lot of damage probably, but does not pick up the KO. Incineroar decides to use Knock Off, going to know what's the item, there's no item, so it's probably a Z move.
Yeah, well played by Jason right there. Instead of going to the for the flare bits, you went for the knockoff, to scout the item. Usually most players would just forfeit right there, but it's always good to get more information for your next round or turn, for the next game. So as we have
that's the art of best of 3.
Yeah, we have seen that Adryan's Cresselia is an MVP, with the ally switch, keeping Cresselia on the field longer, and Jason not being able to KO the Cresselia is actually huge for Adryan because the Nidoqueen weakness.
But bringing an ally switch to the game, sometimes always play mind games to yourself when you already reveals that your Cresselia have an ally switch to the opponent. So it's something that you want to be wary of using it, especially if you're on the stream and people knows your team right now. So it's something that you want to use it only in critical moments.
Yeah, but right now we know that both Cresselia carries ally switch, so it will be a mind game for both of them. So do they want to go for it again, like especially Adryan, because he did went for ally switch multiple times, and Jason is aware of that right now. So it's always a 50-50 for both of them if they have Cresselia on the field.
Yes, that's why in this game what I see is the positioning is it's much more important than the normal usual games, and I think we'll be going on to the team preview once again right now to see what do already have chosen their Pokemon. And so right now we're going to see the list if there are any side adjustments from Jason, for example leading with a Tapu Fini and also a Cresselia just to counter that Salamence and also Cresselia lead.
Yeah, I feel Escadrille can also be huge in this game because it's also one of the Pokemon that can deal with the Nidoqueen if you carry a Z move. I mean, Earthquake wouldn't be enough against a Nidoqueen, and Nidoqueen can just KO you back with an Earth Power unless you're carrying a Focus Sash.
But most likely here right now, with target from the Ice Queen onto the Salamence, it will be very huge to go to attack to the Salamence and actually deals a lot of damage because the ally switch won't work. But Adryan decides to retreat the Salamence and go for the Magnezone, which has a better type matchup against Tapu Fini and also Cresselia. Tapu Fini decides to protect, doesn't want to get any damage from the Salamence. Psychic is going to connect onto the Magnezone, dealing some chip damage. But the Cresselia here is going to fall another Psychic onto the protector Tapu Fini, which is probably going to be useful for the next few rounds.
Yeah, some damage on Manic Zone can be really good here because usually Manic Zone they have Sturdy or even Manic Proof back in VGC 17 for the opposing Celesteela, but in 18 usually you want to carry a Sturdy, like you take an Earthquake from Landorus and then you hit it back with Hidden Power Ice.
And the ally switch coming in from Cresselia right now, and the Z move from Oktavian Jason, the Tapu Fini Water MC, Hydro Vortex. Any Pokemon, both of these two Pokemon probably resisting or cannot be, cannot faint from this Hydro Vortex due to the nature of its bulkiness. It's targeting the Magnezone, but it's hitting the Cresselia, or actually it's targeting the Cresselia, but only 50% damage, which probably can proc the berry if it's hitting one more turn, and a Flash Cannon doing some damage onto the Tapu Fini, but
looks like Adryan disconnected right there. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait for the judge to make a decision.
satu-satu. Apa? Apa? Bentar. I think we can talk about the statistics. Yeah, in the meantime.
Yeah.
Terus ada statistik dulu ya. Habis kita ke statistik. Hi guys, sorry guys for the some technical difficulties, but because of Adryan Sutantoso's 3DS is malfunctioning and is, just disconnected, so we need to give a game loss for Adryan, and so the current score is going to be 1-1 for both players. So this will be the game 3, which is the final game for both of them.
So, I mean, like I said, unfortunate for Adryan there, but good information for Jason once again. He have to remember that Adrian's Crisella has the ally switch, and he did fall for the ally switch again in Hydro Vortex, the what was the Malaxun slot, but
once again, it's like ally switch always a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
And also, not to mention that Adryan is actually, so we have a 4-circuit tournament, live 1, 2, 3, 4. He went into the final for the first and the second one, and also the fourth one. He won the second and the fourth one, but for the first one, he also got a game loss because of his 3DS malfunction.
oh, it's happening again. So
It's happening again, so
is that the only way to deny Adrian from winning a tournament?
so yeah. But while they are setting it up, we can go to we can talk about the usage statistics. Once again, in this tournament, we have the top 3 usage is an Intimidator. We have the Incineroar, Salamence, and also Landris. And we see a lot more Tailwinds rather than Trick Rooms. As we can see, only 6 Pokemon in this top usage, which is the Cresselia and also Porygon 2, that has the option to go for a Trick Room. While for Tailwind, we have the Salamence, as we see from Adrian's team, a Kartana, and also Zapdos. And also even the Charizard, sometimes opting to carry a Tailwind.
Yeah, since after Intimidate came out for Incineroar, it has always been in the top 2 most used Pokemon, even in international tournaments. Well, in this tournament, Landorus falling behind Mega Salamence, which is quite a surprise for me actually. After the Japan National Championship, Salamence won the tournament. The people have been using it together with the Nidoqueen, Katana, Tapu Fini, and Incineroar core, which we have seen Jason was using it today and also yesterday. Still doing very well for him.
And so yeah, I think right now we'll be going on to the game once again. For this is game 3. Adryan is given a game loss because his 3DS malfunctioned, and he's now using someone else's 3DS for the third game. We'll be seeing Jason against Adryan. Sutantoso on this third game. Please give a round of applause to these 2 players. Leading right now with Cresselia and also Nidoqueen from Jason, while Adryan is going for a Salamence, also Magnus. So both of the players changing leads. No.
Yeah, Adryan has seen in game 2 that Jason actually led Tapu Fini, so maybe Malaxun will help against it, but instead Jason led the Nidoqueen, pressuring the Malaxun with an Earth Power and also the Salamence with an Ice Beam. So Adryan is forced to protect or switch out one of them,
because no one live switch as well.
Yeah, but most likely protecting the Salamence or switching out because the Malaxun will likely be the sturdy, to take enough power, but he's going to protect the Malaxun to play safe. Is there going to be another switch mind game the next turn?
Right, now the Queen actually uses a Sludge Bomb onto the Cresselia, just going to go for some damage, some damage.
And the Ice Salamence, switch out and also breaking the Malaxun sturdy. So right now, Jason knows that Adryan is packing that ally switch on Cresselia. So is he gonna fall for it again, or is he gonna make a good read, of powering the Cresselia slot, which usually players will not do that because it's levitated. So I mean, it's 50-50 for both players right now. So does Cresselia goes for the ally switch, or does Malaxun just outright stay at its position and go for a Flash Cannon onto Nidoqueen?
Yes, it will be very huge for Magnezone if just go for a Flash Cannon, but Cresselia is being sent back by Jason, going for the Incineroar, probably hoping that 2 Pokemon that's threatening Magnezone will be able to pick up the KO onto the Magnezone, because if the Cresselia decides to ally switch, just single target for each of their position, but Magnezone is being sandbagged in case and it's traded in for a Tapu Fini.
Yeah, good switch there by Adryan, because now Tapu Fini is threatening both the Nidoqueen and Incineroar with the super effective water attack, Muddy Water, as we have seen what Adryan is carrying. So Trick Room from Adryan here. Tapu Fini is going to outspeed the Nidoqueen in Trick Room, but not the Incineroar, and Incineroar can just go for a fake out onto Tapu Fini, and a Slash Chrome onto Tapu Fini should pick up a KO after getting boosted by the Life Orb and Sure Force Step.
But mid-drew, the Tapu Fini not decides to go for a Protect, going for the Magnezone, just hoping that the Sludge Bomb will connect onto the Earth Power, but Nidoqueen is being sandbagged, going for the Cresselia, and hoping coming in the Cresselia, and Incineroar uses a fake out onto the Magnezone slot, which is before the Tapu Fini slot, and the Psychic is going on to the Cresselia doing some chip damage.
Yeah, but fake out onto Melanzone, some chip damage, breaking the focus sash, and now Incineroar can just go for a flare blitz onto the Melanzone. Then again, there's gonna be an ally switch mind game, but Melanzone don't really need to, stay there. He can actually switch out into Tapu Fini, but looks like he's staying there, and does Cresselia goes for the ally switch. Is Jason falling for ally switch again, or is he gonna flare blitz the Cresselia store?
And it's a knockoff. It's going onto the Magna Zone.
Jason,
but that's a lot of damage. But the Z move is coming in right now from Adryan, going for the Gigavolt Havoc.
Is it enough for the Incineroar? I'm not sure. We have to see here.
Magna Zone has a really high special attack.
Yeah, despite that, most Incineroar usually EV to take a Z Thunderbolt from Tapu Koko in electric terrain. So is it gonna be enough for Jason's Incineroar to take it? We'll see here. And it is.
It's not enough to pick up the KO. It's still surviving. Marching his away is Fiki Berry. And it's really, really huge for Adryan.
Yeah.
For Jason. And even now, another helping hand and also another off-wheel picks up a KO onto either Cresselia or onto the Magna Zone.
Yeah, Cresselia can just go for helping hand, and another knockoff from Incineroar here will do a lot of damage to both the Pokemon, as we have seen helping hand boosted knockoff did more than 50% to the posing manager, but not after the Intimidate right now. Salamence coming in, but will Cresselia go for an Icy Wind this turn?
But the Flare Blitz is going to connect onto the Magna Zone, picking up the KO onto the Magna Zone right now. And so right now, if Cresselia decides to go for an Icy Wind, single target Icy Wind is going to be a huge damage. But it's a Psychic onto the Salamence. Mega doing some good amount of damage.
Yeah, really good turn for Jason right there. Not if despite so many ally switch mind games, he still went for the safer play. Flabbers onto the Melanzone, Happy Can knockoff, no harm,
And Incineroar is being stand back probably after getting the Intimidate. Just going to reset, going for the Tapu Fini, having a better matchup against Salamence, of course. And Salamence decides to Mega Evolve right now, going to throw away that Intimidate in favor for the Aerialite. And Salamence uses Protect, doesn't want to get any chip damage or actually a huge damage from the Icy Wind. Tapu Fini going for the Muddy War against these two bulky Pokemon. The Tapu Fini, also Cresselia. There are no accuracy drop from the Tapu Fini. Icy Wind is going to connect onto the Tapu Fini, reducing its attack. So right now, the Tapu Fini from Oktavian Jason should be the fastest in the game after the Salamence.
Yes, an accuracy drop on the Tapu Fini can actually be huge, because Moonblast now we have a chance to miss on the Salamence, and Salamence can just go for a Tailwind or even Double Edge, which will not take out any of Jason's Pokemon, but damage is damage. And Adryan might want to switch out the Salamence this turn, which he will, into a Cresselia to soak up any damage like Icy Wind or Moonblast from the Jason's side of Pokemon.
And the Psychic is coming in onto the Tapu Fini, doing a lot of damage with the critical hit. And also the special defense spell. The Moonblast is going to connect onto the Tapu Fini as well. It will bring a lot of damage and picks up the kill.
What a huge critical hit and special defense draw. The tables have turned. Jason is in a really good position right now. Unfortunately for Adryan, he's down to 2 Pokemon and is weak against the Cresselia's Icy Wind and also Tapu Fini's Moonblast, and he will not be able to pick up any KO even with the helping hand boosted Double Edge, but he's just going to go for Hyper Voice, and Jason can just go for Icy Wind and Moonblast onto the Salamence.
The Cresselia of Jason munching away its Citrus Berry to heal 25% of itself. Icy Wind is going to connect onto the Salamence, doing tons of damage probably. And it's almost picking up the KO. And also the speed fell from the to the Cresselia and also Salamence. But the Tapu Fini uses Moonblast, but the Salamence uses avoid the attack, psychic onto the Tapu Fini, doing some chip damage. But it's pretty much safe
really
for Jason to win the game,
It shouldn't really matter even with the miss. Like Jason is really in a good position right now because Salamence is at -1. Cresselia can just go for a psychic onto Salamence. You don't want to risk the miss. Tapu Fini might want to switch out into Incineroar to fake out the next turn because Adryan might want to trick room this turn after Salaman's speed drop.
And here maybe is coming the Z move, because even though it's protect, the Salmon will still pick up the
that
kill.
might actually
And,
work.
but no Z move. The Moon Blast, it was still coming in onto the Salamence, but the Psychic is going to go for the Tapu Fini. It's not a critical hit, and also the special defense fell. So accuracy drum and also special defense fell for the Tapu Fini, but it still doesn't really matter because the Salamence is in such a low health that even you touch it, it will die.
Like the previous turn, what Jason could have done is to switch out the Tapu Fini into Incineroar and Psychic on the Salamence instead of going for the Icy Wind, which might have a chance to miss there. And so if the Salamence protect that turn, the next turn Incineroar can just go for a fake out on the Salamence and it's pretty much over. But Hyper Voice for the Salamence will not pick up the KO on Incineroar and Cresselia. Psychic not wanting to risk the miss on with the Icy Wind, and it's going to KO the Salamence. Incineroar and Cresselia, Nidoqueen, Fini up against just one Cresselia. It's over for Adryan.
But thinking back to the game 2 that Adryan lost because of the rule, Adryan has the chance to win the game.
Yes.
But unfortunately, the Cresselia uses a helping hand right now to the Incineroar, and Incineroar is ready to go for a knock off and picks out the KO to the Cresselia. A great game by Jason.
So Jason actually
3-0. 3-0.
3-0. Jason going 3-0, but he 4-0 Adryan right here. Something to be proud of, you know, beating a top Indonesian player and going 3-0 in the tournament. Looks like he's going to top cut.
Yeah, okay. So basically we have 16 players and we have a top 4 cut. Basically one player who has one loss will bubble out.
Yeah, but I mean,
Adryan has 2 zeros, okay? So
yeah,
it's like
Jason's resistance is looking pretty strong here. So I mean, he still have to go 4-0 to be the safe in the safe zone. So he still have one more game. You shouldn't feel overconfident, but still you beat one of the best Indonesian player in round 3 and you know, boosting your momentum. So unfortunate for Adryan in game 2, but a player like Adryan shouldn't be performing badly in the next few rounds. So we are looking forward to see which player will advance to the top card, and we will have one more round of sweets, the last round if I'm not wrong. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Hi guys, back with me again, Hachiganja, with the winner of the Swiss round you have watched us now, Oktavian. Jason, how do you feel after winning against Adryan?
Yeah, of course I feel good. I feel good after a win, especially after I get the DC win.
So, do you think if you don't get the easy win, do you still can win the game?
I don't know. Maybe I can. I guess I can win.
Or you still have the option to win?
Yeah.
Why do you decide to bring the Japanese champion team?
Oh yeah. I think the team looks nice. That has Nidoqueen and it seems interesting and such.
Yeah, because Nidoqueen it's something. It's like a Pokemon that you can't use really often, and seeing a Nidoqueen in this kind of tournament is really interesting to see its match up against a lot of other Pokemon. It has a good matchup against Excadrill, for example, against Salamence with the Ice Beam. Just the speed is just a bit low.
I mean it's why I got speed control on my team, like Crash with the Icy Wind and the other stuff. If you can play around with your core Pokemon like my Nidoqueen or Salamence, you can easily play the team.
Right. Before we go on to the Swiss fourth round, almost securing you to the top card, do you want to say anything to anyone here or to the viewers at home?
No. I hope you guys good luck and have fun.
Alright, thank you so much. We'll be going back to you guys, so do not go anywhere. Here in Indonesia, Game Experience will be going on to the Swiss round 4 in a few moments.